All right, and we are back with another week in the lands of Exandria on the continent of Tal'Dorei. How's everybody doing today?
It's going okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We've all seems to have seen better days. Um, we are going to be down one player today due to it's their birthday, and they're of course going to be celebrating with that family. So we wish them the best and happiest of birthdays. So
Happy birthday.
yes,
When you come back and see the stream.
hopefully your party will still be left alive, or at least your character.
So is this the point where we start making fun of them because they're not here?
Sure, why not? I mean, they're not here to defend themselves, so and also just blame everything on them.
If only they had been there, none of this would have happened. Nothing has
Exactly.
happened already. But there we go.
All right. So, um, without further ado here, going to jump right into the intro here and continue off where we last left. So, while often wild nights at the Yellow Pear Tavern end with the guard of the Timber Bastille questioning your troop at some point, this time it was different. This time, 4 outsiders were murdered. You each are sequestered and questioned about the events that took place that night, the day after the Night of Falling Stars. Recalling the events, a young half-elven bard named Caro started a brawl with a band of half-orcs. These half-orcs disrespected a headstrong high elf, both verbally and physically. The bard was foolishly trying to defend the honor of Althea, mistress of the arcane and one of your troop, when his fist struck the half-orc. Caro, seeing the mistake of his impulsiveness, ran for his life, sliding across game tables and spilling drinks everywhere. Billidan, a drow whom the folk of the Timber Bastille have slowly began to trust over the years, intervenes, but in doing so draws steel first and murders one of the half-orcs. The rest of your troop join in the fight. Rixori, a half-elven slave of Billidan, and Lunaris, a musician who is largely responsible for the popularity of the Yellow Pear Tavern within the Timber Bastille. As the last half-orc falls, the full-scale brawl breaks out. The local guard, accompanied by wardens, arrest and question everybody involved. Caro is put in the stockade for a few nights for starting the brawl, while other patrons are fined to pay for the damages that they have caused to the tavern. Your troop, on the other hand, is still quite useful to the wardens, and as part of your sentence, you are sent to investigate the landing of one of the falling stars that appear to have landed near the Myers Scar, an area of corruption in the Verdant Plains that is home to fey abominations and other horrors beyond imagination. As you searched the land for where it made landfall, you begin to hear a faint heartbeat. As it grows louder, you notice signs of decay in the Verdant Plains. Decay that should not occur, as the ancient magics of the elves keep the Verdant Plains evergreen. In the center of this decay are the bodies of 2 fallen cloud giants. There is no sign of cause of death other than impact with the ground. There is a strange marking on the palm of one of their hands. Taking the flesh with the marking and also one of their magical giant-sized great axes, you begin your trek back to the Timber Bastille to report your findings. That's where we're going to continue off.
Well, you all
Alright.
can carry the giant axe back.
Althea looks at her arms, looks at the axe, looks at her arms, axe. The axe.
Me and Billidan already said we were carrying it.
Oh, okay. Forgot. I was about to say, because that ain't happening.
Do you think you're strong enough so I could ride on the axe?
No, that's not going to happen.
Oh,
All right, so Brixori, who's probably the strongest among you all, ironically, you're not going to help carry the axe at all?
well, they've been so kind to volunteer and do it. I will be here for moral support.
That means no.
Rah rah, team! You can do it.
So I'm sure Billidan is going to be one of the carriers then, since he's not going to object.
He agreed last time. Just lift with a jerking, twisting motion of the back.
It's the
I do
best
not
way
think
to
that
do
is
it.
how that works.
Now, also for you guys here, I did get the maps successfully loaded here. So, just so you can see the area here, I'm going to share this. And you all should be able to see the map of the region.
Yes, I can.
Yep, I see a nice big star in the center of places I don't want to go.
Well, you're actually near that star on the northern end of that, so...
Well, I know what direction I'm not going then.
What, you mean you don't want to travel to the south? I
Eh,
mean, my scar's not so
no.
bad.
So where are we on this map right now?
Let's see. Ooh, let me see if I can get a pointer here.
Like where the P is in Expanse.
Well, actually, I think I can... I think I can get a pinpoint here. Hang on. Not sure why combat music is playing. Okay. So, let's see. So, where you guys are at is, if this will let me draw here. I'm not trying to change the color on this, but can you see the black kind of down arrow?
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can. I see.
Yeah, it's not used to the drawing mode in this. Still learning the fantasy grounds here. All right, so with that here, and that's where you're about, where you found the axe and everything. That's the river that you came across, and the Timber Bastille is pretty much due north of where you're at. Now, it took you a little over a day to get back with that. Now you're also carrying an axe. So, is there any things you want to do? Prep, rest, anything before you make your travels? Especially since you just combated those swarms of insects that were trying to feast on the giants' bodies.
I think we're still in full shape.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down like one first level spell.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I wouldn't mind to do a quick rest when we get a chance to, but it's not necessary, and I don't think anybody's hurt, so...
All right. So, let's see here. As you continue your trek back, roll for some random encounters here.
I will say, after about the 8-hour mark, I think we should take at least a short rest.
8 hours of walking. You don't expect me to do that, do you?
We walked longer than 8 hours here. Oh, excuse me, I gotta get in the character. Well, we walked longer than 8 hours here.
I don't wanna.
All right.
I swear I'll turn this axe around, young man.
Okay.
That
If
was
you
an
rotate-
idle threat. You're not supposed to take it seriously or call me on it.
No, let's go back.
No. Keep walking.
Keep walking backwards. I
No,
understand.
So, as you
What did I do to deserve this?
as you walk away from the area, the sounds of the beating heartbeat, again, around the perimeter is where it seems to be the strongest, and then as you exit the decaying area, it again begins to fade into eventually nothing.
Yeah, that's not creepy or anything at all.
As you continue through the forest, back where you came, going through a few hours of travel, occasionally being on guard here, especially with what you've seen before with the orc sign, warning about intruders into their lands. I would like everybody to make a perception check.
I see all of the things. Rixori can see the pretty butterflies.
I'm tired. I don't want to look.
So, as you, you know who we don't have on here as well?
Yeah.
Illidan. We gotta get.
I need you to.
Yeah, I'm gonna erase his access. Let's see. PC. Here we go. So clear owner, and you should be able to take ownership.
There we go.
Perfect.
He's been drinking just in celebration.
No, yeah, they're distracted by carrying the axe.
Yes, we're gonna go with that.
That's the ticket.
Why not? Nothing wrong with that.
15's not a bad roll.
No.
No, I was
It
referring
is.
to the 8 and the 9.
Well, again, as we've established, she's not carrying the axe.
I keep forgetting who's who. Darn it.
How can you ever forget who Rixori is?
I wasn't there for most of Rixori's original hijinks.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair. All right, so Althea with the extremely impressive 21, you start to pick up an odd scent. You're not really expecting this odor out here in the wilderness, but it smells like almost like a seasoned stew. Like something's been spiced, meat, and you're just catching the whiff of it in the air, the aroma.
She'll hold up one hand. Just a moment. Do any of you smell that? Someone's cooking a stew nearby.
I'm covered in guts of a giant. I don't want to smell right now.
Well, we're close enough to the town that we could probably make it.
No, you're not
soon.
close to the town.
No,
I thought that it was just a few hours out.
No,
full day.
No, it was a little over a day.
Okay.
So, and you've traveled a few hours along the roads here. Nobody else seems to pick up that scent that you're picking up here. And you feel that you've caught wind of it, downwind of that trail. Further up, you see where the origin is coming from. Along the trail, you start to also hear the sounds of almost like a haunting pipe tune. Now, Lunaris, you also are kind of picking this up as well. And as you pick this up, you see the source of the smell. There's a little crackle of a campfire. And as you peer further down the trail, there are two figures sitting near this small campfire. One is a bearded man. Looks like he's got a waxed goatee, a very impressive gut, furry legs like a goat. The other is a much frailer figure, wearing these worn, tattered brown robes. There's kind of a hood covering the face. You can see little thin, wiry strands of hairs coming from out the hood. There's a single wrinkled hand that holds a very twisted and curved, odd-looking walking staff. The bearded man kind of stops playing for just a moment, and he looks down the road where you're traveling up, and he kind of waves his hand at you, like to come forward.
Althea will start approaching cautiously, waving as well. Good afternoon, sir.
And the bearded man looks up at you, gives a sly smile. Well, looks like I have more company for supper after all. Have you brought anything for my stew? And he just kind of gestures as at this large iron kettle that's sitting on the campfire.
Althea will frown. We did not. We simply were investigating where the smell was coming from. All I have to offer personally are some rations.
Well, come, sit by the fire. Take a load off.
She'll look at the others to see what they want to do.
Well, they do look kind of tired from carrying that axe.
I could do with a small rest. Does Lunaris say anything?
I think he's brooding. Chris? Did we lose Chris?
I'm sorry, hang on. I'll be right back.
All right. So he's going to go into brood mode.
We humbly accept your hospitality, sir. And she'll make her way to sit by the fire.
Splendid! Splendid! And they're sitting on, well, the one with the impressive gut and the goat leggings is sitting on a log. The robed figure is sitting on what looks to be a very old stump.
I should do introductions. I'm Althea Galanudel.
The goat man stands up and kind of does a little dab. I am Tian. It's a pleasure to meet you, milady. And who are your friends here?
She will gesture so that each can introduce themselves in turn.
Rixori does not. She just stares.
Seeing that's about to happen, Althea will say, This is my companion, Rixori.
She throws a rock.
At anything in particular?
At Althea.
Althea is hit by a rock.
Okay. Althea, you take 1 point of damage from being pegged by a rock.
Althea has just lost 1/7 of her hit points.
And Tian goes up just as he introduced to Althea. He does a little dab towards Rixori as well. The figure that's in the brown robes just tilts his head up, looks at you for a moment, and then just goes back and looks at the kettle and the flaming fires.
I'm back. I didn't hear most of that because I was dealing with a family member coming into my room and starting stuff. What's happening?
You're at a campfire.
Okay.
We've come across a couple people who were cooking a stew, and we're sitting at a campfire, and we were doing introductions when Rixori decided to peg Althea with a rock.
Cool. Lunaris gives Rixori a thumbs up.
Introducing myself.
In any case, she rubs the bump from the rock that actually did hit point damage. As I said, we are grateful for your hospitality. May I ask what you were doing so far out here?
And you're talking to Tian?
Yes.
Well, I live in these woods. I'm just here having supper and trying to enjoy company, but I'm afraid that this one here doesn't have too much left to talk about. But you're here! New conversation! And he just seems really, really happy. He's kind of almost prancing on his little goat-like hooves.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have many stories to tell. Though we may have someone here who can regale you with some tales. She's going to toss a glance at the bard.
What bard?
Don't we have a bard out of character?
No.
No.
But Lunaris can play music, but he's not a bard. And you hear the hooded figure just kind of mumble, "What does it matter? It'll all be lost in the sands of time, just like everything eventually."
Well, that's a rather dark way of looking at things.
I know just what you're talking about. I used to be friends with a bunch of people that aren't really people, and they died so soon. It's almost not worth it, is it?
I know what you mean. I used to be an adventurer in these lands myself. And he pulls back the hood, and when he does, you see more of the stringly gray hairs. And as well as the pointed ears that stick out from them. He appears to be a very elderly elf. Easily in the upper 900s. Whoever's eating, can you mute your mic? Thank you. So, yeah, so he appears to be about the upper 900s, if not a millennia or more old. His face is heavily wrinkled. There are scars underneath and intertwining with some of the wrinkles. And you can see in his eyes, his gray eyes, that he has lived a very long and possibly painful life. There is sorrow in those eyes. My companions, they have been long gone. They were like you. And he kind of just points to one of you, and you, and even you. And I am all that is left. You all are looking into a mirror of your future. And he just kind of
I'll live to be super old? Awesome!
No.
That's not a polite thing to say.
That's better than what I estimated before. I mean, some of us don't live that old.
It's not how long you live, it's what you do with the time you have.
If you're
If you-
lucky enough, you may live long enough to be a memory. That's all they are memories now. I don't even remember their names. I remember some of them, but we were heroes of sorts. And now I am here, old, forgotten, as you all will be one day too.
Well, if I may ask, what is your name?
My name does not matter. And he starts kind of coughing heavily. And as he does, you can see when he brings his hand up to his mouth, part of the robe sleeve falls down, and his hand is very, very frail looking. It doesn't sound like he has a lot of time left, even by human standards.
It's okay. Like the elders used to say, all will be consumed by the eternal darkness. I mean light. Eternal light.
You remind me of my friends. There was one like you, brave and kind. And he points to Althea. And there was one like you, clever yet sad. And he's pointing to Billidan. And one pretty like you. And he points to Rixori. And he points his finger to Lunaris. And I was you. And as you look at his staff, Lunaris, it's not really a staff. It's actually a part of an old bow.
This is way too eerie.
Well, if I can say, I would still hear your name, or at least tell you that this meeting ensures that you shall not be forgotten. I shall remember, and one day my journeys will be passed on, and they will remember. It is through that none of us will truly pass on into twilight.
And he looks at you. And as he does, you can see he's remembering, like he's thinking of something in the past, and let me give you some advice, young one. We weren't beaten in a fight against some powerful entity. No. In the end, we lost against ignorance, against bravery that never should have been. And that young one is why I am here, and they are not. Because I was wise enough to run. You see, I am your future. You all will be gone one day. You, and you. And he points to you, Lunaris, and you'll be left scorn and alone.
Lunaris crosses his arms, obviously bothered. What is your name? Answer us.
He stands up, on very shakily legs.
I forgot I was supposed to be...
Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. It slipped out.
Oh, okay.
I've been screwing my accent up this whole time.
How so?
Wasn't this the...
It's
Oh,
not
never
an
mind.
Irish one.
Yeah, this is supposed to be an Irish character. And I was like, no! Go on. I'll remember to add that back in. I slipped into
secret
the...
cover.
I slipped into the monk. Like, shit, the masked fighter is back. Damn it.
All right. So as he gets up on shaking legs, well, since you desire conversation so much, perhaps you and this nice gentleman can talk a while of other things. I need to continue my journey onward while my feet can still carry me. And then he just starts planting the bow half into the ground like a walking staff and starts moving down the trail.
Lunaris, make sure you don't do that to your bow. I mean, that's going to break it.
Lunaris is just staring at him.
And as he's shuffling away, you will all learn in time that life is all about goodbyes. And
Lies.
And as he continues walking down the road, Tion's like, well, let's talk about more jovial things. God, that was depressing.
Agreed. Though, when we reach our twilight, many people only lament the past that has come. So how fares you this day, good sir? Damn it, wrong accent. I'm gonna get like a thumbtack and stab myself.
It's okay. It just we're not we're not actors, so don't worry about it. Okay, so you see him kind of lift the lid of the little kettle, and he takes this little iron ladle and starts stirring the stew inside. And you could really smell the herbs and everything when he does that, and you hear the boiling of the liquid. And he smells it, and gonna be doing so much better once this is done. Can you smell that? And he just kind of like licks his chops, you know. So, and he looking at you carrying, you know, this very large, oversized axe. What brings you this far out? Very rare I see visitors that don't want to kill me right off the bat.
We've been sent on a patrol, and we are returning.
One of them city folk. And he just kind of eyes you over, everybody a little bit here. Well, come sit, stay a while.
Hey, Dave, you say some kind of goat creature, right? Can I attempt to identify what kind of,
Sure can.
Alright, time for that amazing nature roll.
All right, so
Here you go.
Choo. All right, Althea. So, sorry, you've heard stories of various creatures in the woods, and he seems to kind of fit the description of a satyr. Althea, you confirmed just from his pipe playing, his look, everything about him just screams satyr. And you just kind of chuckle as you realize this about him. With satyrs as well, you know that, particularly that they're very hedonistic revelers. So it's going to be a interesting campsite.
Now you see, this here is one of my type of people. Your people are known to be having the great of the parties.
And he just kind of, again, gives that sly smile, and he just, as he looks at you, just kind of winks. Pulls out a little wine skin, and he pours it into a little copper cup, like a little copper chalice, and you get to see in there it's some sort of wine, and he just kind of takes a little sip of it. Hope you're all hungry. There's plenty of stew for everybody.
It smells delicious, and a chance to rest is always welcome in our line of work.
I'm not very hungry.
It
And
would
Master-
be rude. It would be rude for us to turn down hospitality.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So, Lunaris, you starting to play your instrument there? Chris?
We can't hear you, brother.
Fantasy Grounds is being a piece of shit and and taking over the control key, which I use for push to talk.
Oh, right, because of the multiple quick bars.
Yes. Lunaris pulls out his viol and starts playing.
All right, so as you pull out the instrument there, the satyr looks at you and, city dweller, you think you can actually play that thing, huh? So he pulls out his pipes, and he's going to also try to play as well. Basically, he's going to start up an impromptu musical competition. Since you already rolled your performance, let's see what he rolls here. Let's see, can I just throw that in the chat?
Regardless of what he says, it's not as bad. It's not bad for a fighter.
No, not at all. In fact, you do kind of outplay him as they're playing these instruments back and forth. But you do manage to outplay him in this, and he looks at you just kind of impressed. Not bad. Would it be better if you had some hooves to help you tap out that rhythm, though?
Oh well, I'm quite happy with my fingers and toes. Thank you.
All right, so you see, with that, the Sitter's warming up a little bit more to you. Seems a little more at ease with your group here. So as he looks at the stew again and just kind of stirs it, it's finally ready. And he just kind of takes a little sip of it. That's a succulent conagan. You know, that's what we call these fellas in the Sylvan tongue. Much more appropriate than rabbit, don't you think? Tell me, what other names for it do you know?
I'll say
Bunny.
I will.
It's a bunny.
There's
Lapid, jackalope.
hair.
Well, no. All right. So, how many different languages can each of you say rabbit in?
Let's see. Althea can do Common, Elvish, and Orc.
Just common and elvish.
Okay.
And Rixori has Draconic and Infernal to round out the other two.
Okay. What about Billidan?
Billidan only has 2 languages. And that's Common and
bad
Elvish.
common?
Nope, he doesn't even have bad common, just Elvish.
Interesting. All right. Well, so you managed to, tell him in at least 4 different languages. So, yeah, he just, again, kind of looks at you a little bit impressed. Just kind of warms up a little more to you. So, as he starts giving out these little wooden bowls here, and if you have your own little soup tureens and things, you'll pour the stew in that. He offers you as well, some of the wine and such. And he kind of scooches over towards Althea. So, lass, where are you from?
Well, I've been a little bit all over from the various elven lands. Currently, what was the outpost we came from?
The Timber Bastille.
1 second, someone's knocking at my door. I'll be back in a moment.
But I've been staying in the Timber Bastille for a while, plying my trade there, working with the city guard and whatnot. Though I was originally trained in the Elven capital.
And he's listening to you tell all this stuff as he's filling up a little cup of wine for you. And what about you there? And he's pointing over to Lunaris.
Sorry, I got my package. What's up?
He's asking Lunaris about where he's from.
Think your push to talk isn't triggering again, man.
Oh my god. Here and there, right now I'm working with a mercenary troupe. I've been with them for a few years, but before that I worked for another troupe, but it was full of lesser races, and by the time I had reached adulthood, they had all passed.
I see. And what about you, fellas? And he's gesturing over to Rixori, who was initially just staring kind of blankly and hasn't really touched her stew or anything.
Oh no. She will not touch her stew. She is on a religious fast. For her elders once told her, don't eat anything random people on the street give you.
But he's not on the street. He's at a camp.
Same thing. Do not drink the blood of the goat or the food of the goat.
Well, that's just racist.
Yeah, Althea has no problem eating and drinking. We came up to this guy's camp. It's not like he was hunting for us.
Well, I'm the only one that kind of paid for his food with a sing-song, so I'm eating.
Yes, Rixori will say that she came from a temple not too far from here. And that's as far as she goes into her story.
Okay, fair enough. And what's about you, Darkwan? Don't see your kind much out here except after the sun goes down.
Of course not. I can't do his accent. And Billadin would eventually probably tell his story of becoming a mercenary leader by means of getting gold and being an accountant.
Okay. Let's see. So what's with the axe?
Well,
Plunder.
we went to investigate something and found this among the spoils.
You weren't investigating the fallen star, weren't you?
We were.
She's gonna turn when he says that, and she's gonna say the following: "Wait a minute, you're acting all paranoid, but then when it comes to our mission, you're not even the least bit, the slightest bit, willing to try to obscure things. No, you're right out with that, but when it comes to your personal life, you hit me with a rock for disclosing your name, and there you're just like, here's our mission."
Well, this is a stupid mission that was forced on us by stupid people. Who cares?
And here is what we found. And she pulls out the stone she grabbed from the site.
It looks like a rock.
Yep, it's a rock. I think it's a magical rock from outer space.
Just to be honest there,
But that's not
It's
what
not
fell
a
out the
magical
sky.
I'm pretty sure it is. It is beyond our comprehension.
do you know what fell out of the sky, sir?
This fell out of the sky.
Yes, seen it with my own two eyes. And if
What did you happen to see?
And if you went there, you probably saw what I saw. And he's just like, as he's kind of easing a little closer to Althea, and as he's going with the conversation, describing what he's seeing here, he's just slyly keep filling her cup up with wine. Well, there were these two giant figures that fell from the heavens
Yeah, we saw the giants, but they were, squished. She's also not drinking any more wine. Though that confirms he's totally not trying to poison us. He's just trying to get us drunk.
And I mean, he's drinking the wine too, so it's,
Exactly. He's a satyr. This is what they do. No, we found the squished bodies, but there was nothing else of note.
Well, I didn't get too close there. It was a little too creepy. After they fell, the whole area, just the leaves started falling off the trees. The trees themselves started to die, and that's not natural for these parts.
That kind of rapid death isn't natural anywhere, but we couldn't find any source of it. Only thing we found were some insects that we killed and the spoils that we could fetch.
You don't
And this
understand.
rock.
The elves of Singorn. They have ancient enchantments on these woods that prevent the trees from decay. That's why the verdant plains are evergreen.
I'll admit, it's very strange. I'm not exactly sure the source myself. All I can do, though, is report back on what we were able to see.
Yep, that solves for you. Can't even make an enchantment right.
You try.
But maybe I will.
Okay, let me see what you find out.
Ugh, where are my manners? You there, and he points to Rick, sorry. Why don't you say a prayer before we dine? I am so sorry.
Oh, okay. I shall say a prayer. Oh, great Lightbringer, may your vengeance and unholy wrath burn these evils and release a... no, not that. Yay, be glory to the shadowy monster that, oh my,
You're not very good at this,
my
are ya?
stomach. Oh, my stomach. I'm not feeling very well. I need to lay down.
Is your last name Hercule?
A perfect prayer, as always, Rixori. Thank you.
And he hands you a cup of wine. Here, this will soothe your stomach.
Oh no, religious fast. I can't drink that.
You know, that word, religious. I'm not quite sure you're using it correctly.
No, I'm quite sure. I am a priestess after all of Changebringer.
Right! Of course you are!
Look, see my holy symbol.
Yeah, certainly, that is a holy symbol of Changebringer if I ever done saw one. Indeed.
It is.
Sorry for doubting you.
It is a legitimate holy symbol of Changebringer.
So, as you're at the camp here, the sun starts to go down, and Tion goes, "You're welcome to stay here for the night. I promise that you will be safe." And as he's saying that, you see him just kind of make some kind of weird markings in the dirt, going all around the little campsite he has there.
Well, unfortunately, my knowledge of Arcana is pretty bad, so I'm going to have to take him at his word on that. And Billadin never learned magic.
So, Althea, so what you can see here is he is literally carving into the dirt various sigils, just you know, just with like a little stick. But what he does is he starts combining some herbs, and he takes this little pouch out, and he starts mumbling an enchantment. As he does so, the mixture starts to kind of glow and sparkle, and it fills, and he starts filling in these gaps that he's marked out. From what you can tell, it seems to be some kind of ward, similar to Sanctuary, but it has some other enchantment to it that's a little different. It's not quite Sanctuary, but it's very similar to it.
Okay. She will take note of that. That looks like some fairly impressive protective magic.
Well, that's not the only impressive thing I can do, lass, but that's part of our power of our Fey people.
Would you mind if I copied those sigils so I can study them later?
Be my guest.
She will use a spare page to jot those symbols down for later.
All right, and as Althea's going around looking at all the sigils, because he did it through the entire radius of the camp there, you see him just sitting back, sipping the wine, watching Althea go to each little rune and jot it down. Occasionally just glancing over at Rixori and giving a wink.
Meep. I mean, oh, yes. Meep.
So, once you finish jotting down the runes, so are there any tales of adventure you want to share?
Unfortunately, I haven't really been at this long enough to have a number of, how shall I say, true adventures. I've seen my share of scraps, maybe a brawl or two, and then there was my training at the tower. But aside from that, unfortunately, nothing that's overly impressive.
We killed a bunch of orcs the other day that were in a tavern brawl.
They were given a chance to flee, but they foolishly chose to fight.
Ah, don't worry, I don't judge. And again, just kind of giving a little casual, sly smile and wink at the ladies.
It was an interesting encounter, to say the least. That's actually how we got tasked with this duty. This is a punishment detail.
Punishment? For
Yes.
killing orcs?
Yeah, they're not even real people.
You're not a real person.
You're not an orc, Rixori.
Of course, I'm not an orc.
Maybe her real name is Rix Orky.
Oh no, don't.
That's somebody else.
Well, she does have a giant weapon.
Thought that was Beats' shtick.
And Rixorki had a giant weapon too.
Yeah, but Beats had the legendary belaying pin of destruction.
Thank goodness we do not have one of those.
For everybody who's listening, those are some characters from previous campaign. Got some videos of that if you're interested in following some of those tidbits. But I digress. So you killed these orcs, and they sent you out here, out to the Meyerskar. Interesting.
Yeah, they like to do that to me all the time.
Tell me, and as he says, "Tell me," he again just no matter how far like Althea or Rixori seems to kind of try to position themselves away, he always seems to just scooch or just schmooze his way right back next to you. And as he asks, "So, did you get to witness the night that the stars fell?"
How long ago was that?
If I
That,
witnessed,
that was about a day before the whole tavern incident.
Oh, I mean, of course I saw it. I would have been outside. Didn't take much of the, how shall I say, it didn't have the major significance to me. Why should I have taken note of something and didn't? Wouldn't surprise me. Not exactly one of those kind of casters.
sign of the end of days.
No,
The
lass.
days will never end. Remember, even when winter comes, the next season always follows.
Yes. In fact, those signs, when the stars shoot in the sky, it's not a sign of the end to the Fae people, but rather a sign of new beginnings. And as the wise and beautiful lady here has pointed out, just as the seasons begin and end, so do other things in the world begin anew. It was such a pretty sight, was it not?
It was a sign of the darkness that will come and consume us all.
You have a real problem with this darkness thing, don't you?
I keep wanting to call this guy Mr. Tumnus.
Not everything is about darkness and drab and drear and the end of all things happy.
Just the interesting stuff.
Of course not. That's why I have this. I guess
You should enjoy life a little more, lass. And again, he just eases yet another cup of wine towards you, Rick. Sorry.
stop that.
There's
I already
like
told
5
you I'm
cups
not
of wine
drinking.
by Rick's Rory.
Master, take these.
So, sir, do you know anything about that elf that was here before?
Oh, that was a depressing one.
Was really
Well, not too much. In fact, he barely talked. There wasn't much on the conversation. He did contribute some herbs to the stew. But outside of that, he just seemed to want to warm by the fire.
Linaris now looks down at the half-eaten bowl of stew dubiously.
I mean, it tastes good, and the satyr's been eating it, and he's fine. But the only thing that I know of the old one was the other day. This young elven girl. She came running, crying. She seemed lost, trying to find her way home. And when I talked to her, asked her why she was out there, she said she got lost playing and she was hurt. And she described somebody that matched the old one's description who healed her and told her to head on home. I pointed her in the right direction and made sure that she found the company of some of your elk that patrol these lands. I'm sure she made it back safe, but still, one so young and yet one so old this far out is very rare indeed.
Hmm.
Maybe the stupid warden sent her out.
I
know
the
they like
little
doing
girl
that to people.
She's really here to make sure you do your job.
Do you know where the child was found?
Well, yes, actually. Well, where I found her, but not where she met the old one. A few miles from here. She was pretty close to the Meyer Scar, and if she would have wandered a mile or two closer, she may have turned into something monstrous.
How does she? That is just
What do you
odd.
mean she may have turned into something monstrous?
The Meyer Scar. Those who enter rarely leave, and those who survive become twisted, corrupted, much like the trees in the area themselves. Even my people are not immune to it. Many of us who have wandered too deep and too close to the Meyer Scar have turned into twisted, horrific abominations. Horrible evil from that place. Stay away from it.
Well, that is something we both can agree on.
I hope the child is alright. I hope she did not go too deep.
She seemed okay, a little shaken up. As I said, I managed to point her in the care of some of your kind, so they were better suited to tend to the young one's needs than I am, but don't let that fool you, lass. I can still take care of you. And as he says that, he starts like he's going to put his hand on you, and he puts like a little bandage where the rock hit you, and then he just kind of eases back and just kind of smiles.
Rick's going to roll insight against that statement. I guess maybe he's legit.
You can tell that he doesn't really hold any ill intent against you. So he is, you can tell he's kind of warmed up to y'all, but he's really more interested in Rixori and Althea than he is of Lunaris and Billidan. Especially Althea.
Rexori is all for promoting that.
And how exactly do you promote that?
Good question. She'll have to think on that. This is way outside her forte.
I mean, she doesn't have a plus 20 deception.
Not 20.
She's not that Rixori.
Not to that point yet. Give it time.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to discuss with the satyr here before you take up your rest? Unless you want to camp outside of his protective ward.
No. Zori's good, unless anyone's got anything else.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. So there's not a generous amount of room. There's enough room where you can kind of pull up your bedrolls. Not really anything for a tent, but it's an open sky here, so it's not like it's going to rain. A little bit of, slight chill in the breeze, but nothing your bedrolls couldn't keep you warm through the night with.
Or a satyr.
Exactly. And, he begins playing his little flute, just making nice little tunes here, soothing tunes. So, who wants to do any kind of watches? Who wants to? We're going to change any of the order for the watches.
I don't see a need to. They worked pretty well.
Okay, so it was Billidan, Lunaris, and Rixori, I believe. Or no,
I think it was
Lunaris,
Nars.
Rixori, and Althea. Wasn't that the War Charter?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put a Billidan as 4 here just so we don't get that confused next time. All right. So, let's see here. Lunaris, why don't you roll perception here? Okay. So, Lunaris, again, the satyr's just playing his little melody and watching over the group here as you also stand watch. A lot of things seem to keep a berth to the warded area. They don't seem to, like, the animals of the forest don't seem to really come close to the area. Not much travel on the road as well. This is pretty far out from most of the normal patrols. So, pretty quiet out here. And as you sit there on your watch here, occasionally you hear some of the nightlife move in the woods. But nothing really breaking the tree line coming towards your encampment here. Not much exciting happens on your watch here. Though the satyr does eye Rixori and Althea as they sleep. So, Rixori, it is your watch.
Perception time.
Oh, yes.
I believe in you, Dice.
So, again, the satyr's just kind of playing his little melodies, watching you.
Don't you have to go to sleep at some point? Aren't you tired?
And he just sips some more of his wine.
Aren't you tired?
Kind of goes over towards you. Kind of goes next to you and just... Why are you so anxious to get me in bed, lass?
No. Althea must be cold. It's kind of chilly out here, isn't it? I'm gonna scooch over and oh, don't worry about me.
Well, I mean, if you're cold, then we should stay together. Body warmth should be enough to keep you warm in the chilly night.
Of course, yes.
This can also help warm you up as well, and heals another cup of wine.
Well, this is gonna be an uncomfortable night watch.
More than you know, because as he's doing that, you kind of look out and you see moving through some of the tree lines very fast, shadowed movements, almost going from tree to tree. Just some of them going to the trunk, some of them darting to some of the thicker lower branches, leaping across. And as they move across, you barely get glimpses of these, and it's about 3 or 4 of them moving very quickly with purpose.
Thank goodness something wants to kill me. I know what to do about this.
And Tion just kind of sees you notice it. You see them too. And he kind of puts his arm around you. Don't worry. They can't see us in the ward.
What are they?
And he kind of points to Billidan. Some of his people. They're out hunting. But again, don't worry. They can't see us. Nobody can see us. And he just kind of
I
goes
mean, a doll.
closer.
I need a doll.
Up, look at the time. I gotta wake up Althea.
What would Rick Sorry do in this case? I can't do that. I can't do that. Help me.
So Rixori has one of the most uncomfortable watches that she has had yet to date.
Master, wake up.
You just go cuddling back over there and, just try to dream away the nightmares as Althea is woken up for her watch here. And as Althea wakes up, she's greeted to Tian just grinning and smiling.
Did you have fun on your watch there, Tian?
Well, I'll say this. You do make better company. And he holds up a cup of wine to you.
Don't mind if I do.
Ah, that's the spirit.
So
You must
what
be.
have we seen on
You are the
watch
wise one of the group, aren't you? And he starts chugging vigorously of his cup.
She sips, not chugs, but when he says that, she snorts. No, I would never be what I would see the wise one. I might be one of the smart ones. I'm probably one of the quick ones. Wise, not so much.
So, and again, he starts doing similar things with you there, just kind of staying close to you and talking to you, even playing very soothing melodies with his pipe.
So what have you seen tonight, wandering around the edges of the camp?
Just some drow. Nothing to be worried about. As I told the other lass, there's nothing to fear. We're protected by the ward, and kind of scooches close to you. And nobody can see us beyond the ward. It just kind of gives you a wink, wink.
Gotcha. I see what you did there. As much as I like your company, and your wine taste is impeccable, I do have to tell you, you have some competition. Back in town, there's this damn fool of a half-elf. You and him need to swap notes.
And now you've just killed Crow. Karos.
Wow. So
Swap notes on the flirting. He's not very good at it. He's really bad.
And now he's dead.
and Tian's just, I'm not worried. Love always finds a way.
And you see, it's lines like that that he needs to learn. It might help him get laid. You have more game than a chess master.
and again, he pours it on, going about, how lovely the scenery is and comparing it to how lovely Althea is, and complimenting you also on your fine tastes and spirits as well. Kind of chuckling at some of the tales of the conversation that you give him. So, yeah, he's definitely trying to warm up as much as he can between Althea and Rixori.
Like I said, you're doing a good job there. You just happen to be very resistant to such wilds. But I'm giving you an A for effort. I mean, let's be honest. I'll say, there's very few that I would put in the regard. I mean, you could make a divine consort or something.
And he just kind of smiles at you. So, what you're saying is there's a chance. And he does a little wink wink.
Of course there's a chance. If there's enough wine involved, there's a chance.
And he's still pouring more wine to your cup.
Unfortunately, not while I'm on business. However, when I have a day off, if you come down to the town, I've always heard things about men with goat legs. I want to find out if they're true.
So he just kind of...
There goes the game master. He just like, screw it, changing scene now.
Well, no, there's some lines that I have here that I really don't want to... They're even cheesy for him for that, so... I want you to roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Sheet persuasion with advantage. So I click that button. Oh dang it! Oh, it did work. I saw it roll 2 dice, but then I forgot advantage does that.
Yes, as intended. So, all right. So again, he's just smiles and he's just got this big, grin on his face, just ear to ear, and starts playing his pipes again. This nice, delightful little soothing melody, and maybe I will come and see it, lass. Maybe I will.
I look forward to it.
So, yeah, the rest of the night goes by fine, and the sun comes up here, and as such, the satyr has already kind of packed the kettle and everything, and all that's left is pretty much just the little cooling embers of the fire there.
That one there has been touched by Sune.
I think I need to say a small prayer and celebrate this gathering and departure.
I didn't work out so well the last time you tried it.
No, I know this one. And since I don't think anybody speaks Infernal, Rixori just kind of starts talking and hissing, and okay.
Was that a prayer or a stroke?
Well, it's a prayer.
What could you speak it in a language like the rest of us understand? Something less, growly and snarly, and something, in a flavor of common or, elven or maybe.
Unfortunately, the majesty of the prayer would be lost, and it'd be blasphemous for me to do so.
Right! I have a bridge back in the settlement that I'd be willing to sell you.
All right,
No.
so
No.
So basically, you guys just won Tyrion's favor here. So you have earned an XP award for that. So I've added that to your character sheets here.
Well, that's not the only thing Althea won. Yeah.
I don't know. Rixori seemed to be warming up to him, quite literally, in the cold night.
She needs to learn a fire spell. Not set people on fire, just keep warm.
So
Forever.
Althea will gather her own gear up. Well, we have a heavy axe to drag back to town, and we have a report to make that people aren't going to like.
And we also need to tell them about that little girl wandering off in here.
Should be something we bring back as well, but I don't. But if she's already been given to my people, I think she's already been saved.
Oh, when we get back, we should just be sure about it.
All right.
In any case, Tyrion, we thank you for your hospitality and the use of your camp during the evening. And don't forget what we said, what we spoke of last night. I don't know when I'll have a day off, but it will come.
All right. Do you do anything in particular to prep before you head on out? Continue on the road, because you still have to cross the Feshrin River, and once you do that, it should be just a few more miles before you get to the Timber Bastille.
I mean, she's gonna make sure she studies her spellbook and whatnot, but she tries not to cast Mage Armor first thing in the morning.
Okay.
She tries to wait until about noonish, usually.
If you are all done with your emotions, let us get going.
That sounded about right. Next time, pinch your nose closed. I think it might help.
All right. Let's see. All right. Fun times. So, as you're traveling back to the Feshrin River, the bridge that you came over looks like it's gone. Not that it's been washed away by the river. There's not really been any storms, but more of it looks like it may have been well, why don't you roll investigation?
Everyone?
Everyone. Well, anybody who cares to know why the bridge is now suddenly missing.
Damn, I failed this. I should have rolled a 15.
Well, Lunaris knows.
Yeah. So Lunaris with his keen eye, and Billidan and Rixoria also can tell this as well. The posts where the end of the bridge were at, you see markings as if something like a sharp edge came in a quick contact with some of the ties that once were here. None of the bridge ties are still there. It's just the posts. But it looks like the bridge on both ends were cut. There's just the posts on both sides.
What in the hell happened to the bridge?
Looks like sabotage.
I don't think a mend spell is going to fix this one.
Well, we could shoot a rope across, but that wouldn't get our giant axe over.
How
Really?
far is it across again?
The point that where you're at, it's about a good 45 feet.
Jeez.
That's why they had a bridge.
How bad is the current?
Uh, I mean, you can see the water's moving fairly rapid through here. So there are parts where the river does, narrow out, but not at this junction. So you might be able to find a safer crossing, traveling either up or down river. But unless you want a chance trying to go across the river, that's you can take your chances in the river or try to find safer crossings.
Upstream would be heading towards where we're going anyway, right?
Uh, yeah, it would be toward that because it's heading from the mountains, going to the west.
All right, why don't we head upstream and see if we can find a better place to cross? What say
Sounds
the
like
rest
a
of
good
you?
idea.
But we have a giant anchor. We'll be fine.
Okay, let me explain why I'm not one of the people dragging the giant anchor.
Yeah, you don't need to explain that. Let's just walk upstream.
Okay.
She starts walking upstream.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
so as you begin traveling upstream, you start to make your way through the forest. It's following the river embankments. Some of it goes on some higher cliff faces, and as it goes up, it's starting to narrow out a bit. And you do see what looks to be a crossing that you should be able to traverse. Though a little high up, there is looks like a log has fallen across where you can use that to kind of travel over. It's the first crossing that you've seen in the past couple miles.
Log seems like it'll work fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to take a moment and look around and make sure this isn't some sort of ambush point. If they're cutting bridges, they're probably looking at crossings.
What time of the day is it, by the way?
About 1 in the afternoon.
All right, she's gonna go ahead and cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
Let me see how to do that.
Just pulling your tokens on the map here.
Lower Story's too busy bothering Billidan to properly look for any sort of ambush or traps, and Billidan's too busy being distracted.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, so you're seeing that log there that you can easily walk across. It's a very large tree that has fallen, so you can easily traverse that. Looks sturdy enough.
Oh, looks sturdy. Don't see any traps. All right, let's go across, guys. Rah, team, you can go first.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this thing to go on because it didn't work like it did the first time. Turning it. Okay, that should have done it.
Okay.
So yeah, she'll start walking toward the log.
All right. So, let's see, for those carrying the axe. All right, you guys are trailing in the back.
Yeah, McSword will take over carrying duties.
Okay.
Okay,
And
there
yes,
it goes.
your AC is showing effects, AC improvement on your.
Yeah, I
character
got
here.
it. I had to actually. I have to be on the combat tracker to add it. Is all that happened.
All right.
Why is there a combat tracker?
Because we're on a map.
Technically, your PC should always be on the combat tracker. Just whether or not there's anything else on the combat tracker, which there's not right now.
Did you want an acrobatics or something?
No, the log's wide enough where you can easily go across with that. It's high up over the river where it's not getting splashed or anything. It's several. Well, it's quite a bit high up on the river. So, Althea, as you get about right around there,
Yeah.
an arrow comes across out of one of the bushes, one of the trees over there, and you start to hear some shouting. And
Oh, we rested overnight, so I got my hit point back, didn't I?
yes, it
Yep.
was considered a long rest. All right, so let me get this on here.
Clever works.
No. Coming from the trees and the bushes on the other side there, a troop of 4 heavily armored and organized hobgoblins step out to block your progress. Their leader looks over at your party and says something to his men in Goblin.
Oh no, not knob goblins.
And they all draw their weapons. So let's roll some initiative.
Knob goblins are the worst.
All right.
I know it was on this darn thing somewhere. There we go.
I'm back to rolling my garbage initiatives.
All right, so let's see. Looks like Althea is going to be going first in this. And let me just make sure.
Disappeared.
Should be- All right, so you should all see the hobgoblins.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, let's see, Althea, we're going to have you go first. Let's get this to the proper actor here.
Okay. So, moving 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And reaching over here, she's going to turn, and she is going to, as she moves, she draws her short sword, but when she reaches here, she's going to gesture and enchant the words of magic as a cone of fire splurts out. She's casting Burning Hands.
Okay. All right. Let's see. It doesn't. You haven't targeted any of them with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to drop a cone down.
If you right-click, there should be pointers, I believe, and there should be draw cone as a sub.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Now it won't auto-target from that cone, but you can see who it would hit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to actually let me move it and set it. Oh, there we go. So that, and how do I target them? Do I just click them?
Yeah, you should be able to click, and I think if you hit Control or I'm trying to. One of the three keys there should let you target multiple with that, because you can target more than one here.
If you control click on them in the combat tracker.
There you go. Yeah, because I just saw Rixori auto target.
Where is the combat tracker?
The 2 swords button up in the upper right.
Okay, but
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know which one's which.
1 and 4. Yeah, they've got. Okay.
All right, so the top one there is number 1, and the other one is number 4.
Yeah, I figured I could zoom in and see it. So
okay, didn't know.
There we go. So I do that. Now, spell. In here, find Burning Hands. Then I click. Do I just click damage or do I click save? How do I?
Let's see. Yeah, I believe if you hit the save for that, it should roll it for him. And then whoever misses or hits should, then you can roll the damage and it should apply it.
Okay. Whew.
And they both failed. That
Both failed.
All right, and then the damage there.
Oh!
Lord.
well, that's
That's a spicy meatball.
That'll do, Elf. That'll do.
Fantastic. All right, and I believe that ends your turn.
That's it. That I couldn't have done better.
All right, let's see. All right, Rixori. Yeah, that was a hell of a play there.
If you're gonna drop your last first level spell, that's gonna be it, right?
Yeah. So as you put out your hands there and you let out your arcane enchantments there, the command words for the spell. As you do, from your fingertips comes this roaring fire as these fans of flames just engulf these two hobgoblins. They start screaming in agony as they engulf in flames. Soon the screams die down as both of them are just charred, still flaming, but their bodies just unmoving on the ground.
How do I get rid of the
I'm not sure if you can do it. If you go to the pointers, there is a thing to remove pointers, but I know I can see it as a dungeon master. I just removed it.
Okay, I'll let you do it because I couldn't figure out how.
Yeah, it's back in the pointer menu, at least for me. I don't know if the players have it. I don't have Mac up where I can see it. So, all right. But yeah, that was a hell of a play there. All right. Rixori.
well. Rixori's going to drop her end of the giant axe,
Clunk.
and let's see how effective this works. So hopefully they all should now have this, because she cast Bless.
Okay.
So we'll see how it works, and can I pick it back? No, picking it back up would be an action, wouldn't it?
The axe? Yeah, but I mean, you can do that as part of a move, one interaction with that. So, I mean, you can drop something, no problem, and, pull out, let's say, drop one weapon and pull out another. So, in this case, you just drop the weapon and to do that, and then you're just picking up the same one that you dropped.
Abdullah is probably going to charge in next round, so Rixori will just 5, 10, 15, 20. And that'll end her turn.
All right.
Okay, there's an intern button. Yay!
All right. So, yeah, he is.
Bleeding out his last mile from home.
Yeah, no, he's done. Just gonna pull him out of there. Oh wow, it removed him from the map too. Okay, no, for next time. So number 2 is gonna go here. All right. So the spellcaster up top and spellcaster coming across the bridge. Well, he's gonna pull out his. Well, he's already got his sword out, so he's gonna go up and charge up here and try to attack. Let's see. Make sure you're targeted. Huh. Okay. Trying to figure out why it's not letting me target her. Do it this way. There we go. Alright, and this should work if I do.
Darn it,
this
that
here.
shouldn't have done that. I don't know what that was.
What? Oh, that's a distance pointer. Don't worry about that.
I wasn't trying to do that, sorry.
No, that's fine. I can, I think I just drew arrow. Let's see.
Yay, you're safe.
Yeah, he missed you. So, alright, but let's see. His buddy's gonna go. Alright.
Don't worry, Mr. Hobgoblin. We bring you much harm.
Okay. Now he's gonna attack here.
Ooh, that's a hit.
Yep.
I do like the fact it tells you if it's a hit or miss.
Yeah. Now here's the, something that since he hit with that, he's got his.
Dying.
Okay. All right. So, I think it goes down with that. He's never going to bother with his martial advantage on that. You're not dead. You're just down.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
Unconscious. But that is going to end his turn. 4 is. I'm going to skip him. We'll find a better way for them to be off the tracker without being pulled off the map. All right, it's Billidan's turn. Now he's seeing these two hobgoblins start double teaming Althea here, and she goes down with a sword strike from one of them.
Well, they attacked somebody in his company, so Billidan's going to use a bonus action to rage, and then move 1. And since he can't get there, he's going to have to double move.
All right.
And that ends his turn.
Yeah, because he double moved. All right, Lunaris. I know Lunaris is going to drop some of these fools.
I wonder, does he...
All right. Let's see. I'm going to move up. And I'll be attacking the one straight above me. Let's see which one.
That is number 2, the one that's vertically above you.
I'm clicking it in the combat tracker, but it's not targeting.
Try it
You
again.
were targeting.
Yeah, it's not targeting now, but click it again.
Control click. There
Well,
you
it's
go.
just, yeah, it might be the control bug. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's targeting now though.
It doesn't say it on mine, but as long as it's targeting it.
Yeah, you should see a little highlight over him, but I am verifying it on the DM behind the screens combat tracker. You are.
I don't.
Number 2.
It shows for me.
Yeah, it's showing for me too.
Yes, and bless works.
Oh, it rolled it automatically. That's
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Yeah, it didn't change anything because they both rolled the same, fortunately.
27, pretty sure you hit.
All right. So yeah, he's still up, but he's hurt.
And then that's done for me. Let's see. There we go.
I have to make a check to not die. Oh, it apparently did that for me. So I have already failed 1 death save.
All right. Yeah, somebody needs to go over there and help Althea. Okay. Let's see here. Why is this doing it again? Should
It said I don't know, but it told me I just saved versus
What?
death.
Right, because I went to the next actor in the combat tracker. For some reason, it was. It's got you. At
Yeah,
the
you're on there
bottom.
twice.
Yeah. I'm gonna delete the duplicate. That should keep you there. So, all right, we're gonna ignore that here. All right, so Rory.
Kill a hobgoblin, save the elf.
We'll keep that if you're not up by next time. That way, you already got a success there.
Yeah. Also, I think the program's gonna stop rolling it anyway.
Do what you're supposed to do. Okay. Get back up.
Oh.
Fully healed.
So Rory just kind of runs up there, power slides, puts both hands on Althea. What do you say to healer?
Both hands. No, we're using a foot. Get back up, you lazy elf.
You just start kicking her. Amazingly enough, the bloody, dirty feet of Rory are very soothing to your wounds as the magical energy courses through you and heals your wounds.
Soothing's a relative term.
And as you kind of blink and start coming to, Rory's still kind of kicking you.
Are you alive yet?
I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm up. Don't make me late for Elvin. Oh shit, they're still there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Hobgoblin. Master's gonna have to kill you instead.
All right. What else does Rory do?
Oh, I've got a bonus action. Never mind. I'm gonna activate War Priest. And how greedy do I feel? Not greedy enough. I'm gonna hit that hobgoblin. So, War Priest, bonus action, taking a swing.
All right. We are targeting. That's a hit. That is a very good hit. All right, he goes down after that. Rory starts kicking her friend, and only I get to hit her. And, you just pop the hot.
What
sorry.
is?
The divine powers that be demand you as a sacrifice today. I mean, go with the light. Bam.
What does the status heavy mean on the combat tracker?
they're badly injured. What, under
Well, like
50?
healthy, yeah. 'Cause it doesn't go into detail with that because they're enemies, so you don't see like their exact hit point values, things like that. But it gives you an idea of how hurt they are, like a general idea.
Okay, I just didn't know what heavy meant.
Yeah, it's a weird wording for that, I have to admit. But again, you can. It helps if you can't see the color of the dots and things like that. You know who to target and who's hurt and all that fun stuff. All right. So let's see. Yeah, 2 is not. Two is not going to be doing much at all. All right, so 3's kind of looking around here. Althea is on the ground. Rixori is there. Just dropped his other friend. So there's a guy with a bow there. So, yeah, he is going to run his freaking butt off. All right.
Is he disengaging, or is he just gonna?
He's disengaging.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, not all things fight to the death. Now, let's see. Ah, crap. Let's see. This map over if I can. So yeah, he's running through the bush. He's just like, screw this, and he's getting out of there.
Lunar, shoot him! He can't get away. The sacrifice must be complete to the gods of battle.
All right, but yeah, you did slay 3 of them, including the one that was barking all the orders at everybody. All right.
Thank you for that timely save there. Much appreciated.
Rixori kicks again. I need to make sure you're fully healed.
Oh, I am. It's
No,
okay.
I have to be sure.
She gets back to her feet.
Kick.
Sort of.
All right. Let's see here. All right, so just got you some more XP awards here. Now there is, let's see. All right, now what is everybody doing? Let's get them.
I'm sending Lunaris to chase him down. Shoot him in the back. Shoot him in the back.
I mean,
Yeah, Lunaris would try and run him down too.
all right.
But seeing as he's off the map, I don't see how that's possible.
Well, you can pursue after him, try to chase him down, or you can try to fire at him.
I'll chase him down and fire as I go.
All right, if you fire as you go, you're not going to be moving as fast as he is. You're going to be moving 30 feet and then firing. He's moving 60.
35. I guess I'll move to 70.
Okay.
And once I get kind of close to him, I'll just use a move and a fire.
All right. Let's see here. What's your perception? Actually, this should be on... Ah, here we go, yes. Let me see perception. All right, so as you're running to chase him, I'm going to need you to make a dexterity acrobatics check. All right. So as you're chasing him, you barely manage to move out the way as you run into a snare. It looks like he's leading you into some trapped areas. So this
Great.
rope comes off as you step foot. You manage to get your foot out of the way before the rope snares into your ankle, and you would have been flung upward, upside down. But you
Great.
can take a shot.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Roll your damage. All right. So as he's running here, you shoot him. Your arrow flies from your bow, hits him in the back, the lower back, as he's running. Gets right under the where the chainmail sticks out from him. He staggers a bit forward, getting hit. Kind of grunts in pain. Ugh! And he just kind of looks back, he snarls at you, and he just keeps pressing forward, moving through the branches, trying to push out of his way, still trying to evade you.
You can't get away from an elf, motherfucker.
All right, and are you going to continue to pursue, or are you going to fire another arrow at him?
How far away is he?
He's now, let's see, with your stop move with that, he's about 95 feet from you. So you can still shoot him. He's still within your range. Like, before you even move, you can still fire at him.
Well, I'll move the 35 and then fire.
Okay. All right, and roll the damage. It's got those Patriot arrows.
Dunk.
Motherfucker.
Pretty much. So he's pushing through the trees. Branches are snapping. He's breathing heavy, trying to escape from this elf. You pull your bow up, pull the string back. You just line the shot, just tracing where you think he's going to be at. You let go the arrow, and it's almost like a cinematic view. You know, the camera's behind the arrow as it's flying through the trees. And just as he looks back to see where you are, the arrow comes right into his field of vision and hits him. He comes flying off his heels, his body just kind of corkscrewing as it falls down and just drags about a good foot before the momentum of his large frame just stops.
Well, I'll walk up to the body, grab him by the neck, and drag him back to the others.
So after a few minutes here, you hear some rustling in the bushes, and you see Lunaris come back, dragging this hobgoblin by the scruff of the neck, who has an arrow sticking out of his face, and kind of tells the tale of Lunaris.
Lunaris will drop him at the feet of Rixorians like, "You're a hobgoblin, miss."
Yay! No one messes with us.
No one.
We got two crispy ones here. We got one without a face, and we've got one. We got a very nice haircut from a glaive and an arrow.
Yes.
Did we do good, Master? You did adequate.
He still expects better. I know Althea does.
No. Althea's pretty good with this. Althea was healed to full. She reacted too fast, ran out, and paid the price for it. That's why she has that whole impulsive flaw.
But
on the other hand, she took two of them with her.
I was about to say, you took out half their forces.
Yeah,
and you set fire to the woods too. That's a trait all elves need.
But still, we're all standing. None of us are hurt. They're all on the ground, and none of them is living. I call that a win. Now let's see what they got on them. Start looting bodies.
All right. So, so you start going through the bodies, and I have to change a few of this because the fire did destroy a few things. Let's see.
Oh, and Billidan and Rixori go back, pick up the axe, and bring it with them.
I mean, you could just leave it there. I mean, you know.
I mean, I thought about it. I mean, that would save so much effort carrying.
What we should do is take all 4 hobgoblins and stack them, and then just leave the axe like buried in all of their bodies, like cutting all of them in half in one swipe.
Well, the axe is kind of magical.
I know.
Magic means money.
Money is good.
And know what we're going to do with these bodies?
Throw them in the river?
Well, I was going to make sure I stabbed them through the chest and said some parting words for them to help them onto the afterlife, and then we're going to throw them into the river.
Don't pollute the river. There's no need for that.
Lunaris grabs one of the hobgoblins that have already been looted, and while staring Althea right in the eye, walks over to the river and drops him in.
I didn't get to do the sacrificial part. Oh, that's a wasted body. He's not going to go.
Just because I don't want the river to be polluted. Polluting the river when I say don't isn't an insult to me. What do I look like, a wood elf or something?
Oh.
My ears are pointed this way. Their ears are slightly pointed that way. I know to most people we all look alike, but that's not how it works.
Lunaris, here, what else are you going to take that?
Lunaris puts an arrow on his bow and points it at Althea and is like, what about wood elves?
I'm just saying, wood elves care about the wood. That's why they're called wood elves.
Wood elves do well in the wood, not necessarily care about it.
Well, that's a way to break racial stereotypes.
I'll racial stereotype you right
does not
now.
want this.
If you want to racial stereotype me, then all you have to say is, oh, you spend all your time reading books. Oh, look, I do.
And flirting with satyrs.
That's not really a high elf trait. That's just because I'm kind of a slut.
Oh my god.
Rick Story doesn't know what to say to this.
Lunaris just starts walking to town.
Hey, got him to unknock the arrow, damn it.
That is true.
No, Eurus?
Hey, look, let me explain something. You're cooped up in a tower for many years learning how to cast spells. It is very lonely and very cold. I'm gonna be alive a long time. I plan to enjoy it.
Muggles. Nobody got the reference. Oh.
So, I've already awarded the the gold coins that you found on their persons, but you did find a few other things. From the things that haven't been burned, there were 2 kind of barbed nets that you found. Something you haven't really seen before here, so it kind of stands out. Acts like a normal net, only does some bit of slashing damage when you try to break free of it, or you try to help somebody break free of it, and when the prey is initially snared into it, they get slashing damage. Otherwise, it acts as a regular net.
She's gonna look, can I roll something to determine if I recognize the language, even though I can't read it?
Sure.
What would that be?
Just intelligence. These are 22 in chat.
Where do you check how much experience you have?
I don't think that was a good roll.
If you go to main,
Can't see it from here.
Where
No,
it
no,
says
she isn't.
last level, there's a little eyeglass. It's on that sheet.
Yeah, it's very well hidden on your actual characters.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Thanks.
Yeah, you should all have 238.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's a letter over here that looks like it's written, I don't know, in Infernal or something. There's also this here poster, I think. What is this poster? I'm looking at the inventory.
All right, so let's see here. Get to the poster. All right, so I just ID'd it here, so you should be able to see a little bit more of it. And I'm just going to read it out here in case you can't see the description for whatever reason. It's a wanted poster depicting a very close description of Rixori, but it bears a different name.
That's weird and creepy. Let's not think too much about this. I know I'm not.
What name does it bear?
So Rixori, back into the days of that other thing. What nickname would Rixori have had when she was eating cookie dough and drinking Kool-Aid?
Rixori. That is the nickname.
No, she'd have something else.
Oh. Is there anything talking about a Reaper on here? Or a Betrayer?
I'll let you come up with a nickname for her, but it would be something that they would have called her.
Oh joy. No, I don't have any idea. This is a very strange yes. I don't know what this is, guys. I've never seen anything. Oh no, I remember her. Oh, it's the girl who looks just like me back in Saigon. Oh, wonder what she's been up to.
Obviously getting on wanted posters.
Lunaris is, like I said, already walking back to town, so he doesn't hear any of this.
All right, and among the other things that you find here, you do find two strange-looking pins, as well as another letter here, and that's the one that Althea was trying to identify.
As she said, it must be written in Infernal or something. So he hands it to the person who speaks Infernal.
This is not Infernal. I don't speak Infernal, but I know enough about languages to tell you this is not.
Hey, there's scratches on it and, growly looking noises. Sure, it's Infernal. It definitely is an elven. It don't look to be, orcish.
Nope.
Not one of us here speaks Goblin, do we?
Linguistics isn't a skill anymore. Would that just be like a base intelligence check?
No, you'd need to find somebody who can translate that, or find a very well stacked library where maybe you can try to translate the letter after spending quite some time just.
I meant more just identifying the language. Since linguistics isn't a thing anymore.
Well, you can. You have Orc, I believe, don't you?
I do.
You do? Okay. The characters look like they might be Goblin, but again, it's a different language than Orc, so you're not quite sure, what exactly they're saying.
It looks similar to Goblin, so I assume maybe... I have no idea where my character now assumed...
Wait. These creatures are hobgoblins. Perhaps it is a language they speak.
That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Well, it's not Orc, but it looks like Orc. Is Hobgoblin a language? Do they have a language?
They do. Well, they can speak common if they've, so learn it. They tend to speak Goblin.
Oh,
They were
great.
speaking a funny language when they saw your group cross the bridge before they started drawing their weapons.
It's one of those gobbledygook languages.
Ew. Oh well. Toss it in the inventory pile. Let's keep going.
All right.
And I'd like to see that wanted poster just for a little bit, to study it.
All right, but don't draw a mustache on it. I call dibs.
Oh. Yeah, the person actually, this person actually has a mustache. One sec. I'll draw half a mustache. And an eye patch. And a pirate's hat. Oh, see, definitely not me.
No, it doesn't look anything like you.
Well,
Unless
looks
you were
like
wearing a
Rixori-
pirate hat.
Yeah, it looks like if Rixori were trying to look like a pirate hooker, then yes.
It looks like you, if you had, half a mustache, a pirate hat, and an eye patch. So as long as you don't grow half a mustache, wear a pirate hat, and wear an eye patch, I think you'll be okay. Is there something you'd like to tell the rest of the class? Like,
I do not have a pirate hat.
I'm wanted in 3 states. I have the death sentence in 4 systems.
Just a quick question. Wanted poster from who?
From what you can tell, it's also written in that same language, but you can tell on there that there is a number of coins adding up to the coins that they had, kind of on here, as well as the name that you may or may not that you recognize, but you kind of played off that you don't recognize.
I don't know. I mean, like, so it's not a warden wanted poster.
No.
Okay. Yep, we're good. Yep.
As they start walking, she's gonna lean in because the wood elf went far ahead. Rick, sorry, you know the worst part about sleeping with a wood elf, right?
No, I don't sleep with elves.
The splinters. And she keeps walking.
Lunaris would have shot you.
Yeah, I know. That's why I waited.
Good thing he wasn't there.
Hey, I'm out of healing right now, so you might not want to say certain things.
Lunaris is a bit touchy about being a wood elf, it seems.
All right. Do you take anything else, like the barb nets, the pins, anything?
Definitely the pins. They may tell us who these people are. Also, they may be sellable. The barb nets, I mean, if we can bundle them up enough to shove them, we can definitely take with. I mean, I don't know if they'll be worth selling, but might be worth something to a collector. It's definitely an unusual item.
Yes.
You'll find use of it. Yeah, Rixor will grab onto those and drag them with. They're not too heavy.
All right. So you continue making your way back towards the Timber Bastille, and dragging the very large axe with you, as Lunaris has already kind of blazed the trail ahead. You do leave some of the orc territories that you entered in. You're more into the protected warden areas now, and there's more travel on the road. You're starting to see more signs of life. People, little people gathering, herbs and tending little crops and things outside of the Timber Bastille, gathering, lumber and things of that nature. And you do make your way back to the gates of the Timber Bastille. You're not greeted with, any warm welcomes or, celebratory celebrations. Life goes on. The people see you carrying this large axe, and, they kind of stop for a moment, just looking at, like, why are they carrying this incredibly, almost comedically large axe that it takes 2 of them to carry. But after the temporary glances, the folk go back to their daily duties. The guards there, they don't stop you. They just kind of look at you. They know that you are what kind of trouble you've been in lately. They hear of your troubles quite often. What do you do when you get back into the Timber Bastille?
I go find a bard that has a spell Identify.
I mean, I technically have the spell. We just have to pay for the component.
And you can't afford it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it requires 100 gold piece pearl.
We have 11 platinum pieces due to each.
Well, then if you want, I can rest for a little bit. And if we all want to pitch in, we can purchase the pearl and we can then identify it ourselves.
Doesn't the pearl not get used up in the spell?
Nope, we keep the pearl. We just have to buy it for the first time.
So it's a worthwhile investment.
Do the 3 of us want to chip in 3 platinum pieces, and then we have that 1 odd platinum piece just sitting there? That should bring us up to enough to buy a pearl.
I'm alright with that.
What did you say, Lunaris?
God damn it. I hate this so much. I was talking the whole time. Yeah, I guess 3 is fine.
And that clears up where that extra 1 was.
All right. Let's see. All right. So you make your way back. You rest. You heal up. Whoever's got a bag, can you mute your mic?
I'm so fucking tired of...
All right, so you make your way back. You heal up, bandage your wounds. You rest in the comfort and protection of the Timber Bastille. For once, you don't really have to look over your shoulder worrying about being slaughtered in the night. Your sentence has been pretty much cleared out as soon as you report your findings. As you know, they're going to be inquiring what's going on. So, do any of you go and report your findings during the time that you rest up, or are you waiting till after the next day?
I think we should wait until the axe is identified, but I mean, once I rest, I can use...
You can cast Identify as a ritual.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't it still cost you a slot?
No, it's a ritual.
Okay.
That's why that's why rituals are special. You don't burn up a spell slot, but you have to burn an extra 10 minutes.
Okay, we can do that. I mean, I was just going to do a short rest and use Arcane Recovery to do it, but we can do that as well.
All right, so but the main point is you want to identify the axe first, then report any findings.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, let's ID this here. All right, so this is a +1 axe here made for a creature of giant size, obviously. Now, there's a lot of attention to detail in this. It definitely has value in it. Wouldn't be too much useful for anybody in the Bastille itself, but you probably could find a buyer for it, or somebody could try to use it to make other things with it.
Well, if you all want to report in, I'll take care of selling this.
Perhaps Billidan should go with you to make sure everything goes fine.
Oh, you're going to send Master with me?
Unless you want me to come.
I'll take Master.
All right, so you're going to go try to find a buyer for this.
Yep.
Let's see here. So, let's see. I know they had, since we're using the downtime rules.
I need a week to do that, wouldn't I?
Let's see. That's for buying. I thought they had also for selling on here.
Yeah, there should be one on there. It takes a week, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I'm only seeing the buying on here.
Yeah, I've got it on like page 12 of the PDF.
Oh, it's not in the, it's on its own section after crafting?
Yeah, it's right after scribing a scroll.
Okay. Ah, perfect. Yeah, so 1 work week and 100 gold pieces and expenses. Okay. All right, so while you're working on that, well, you can discuss how you want to do the money for that as well. So you've identified the axe. It's time to report your findings. So the Warden Qatar is the one that sent you on this. He was the one that was interrogating you. And he awaits your report, what you found, since you've come back a few days after being sent to the Myerscar area. So who goes to...
Yeah.
Althea will definitely go to give a report.
Victoria does have a rock that she has to give.
Linaris goes too. If only so you could make snide comments at them.
All right, so you go to what they have as the local constable in the stockade, and as you go there, you no longer see the Caro is not there. He's been released. He's done his time, and they let him out. Qatar is sees you enter in and kind of waves you over, brings you into a small little conference room, just kind of closes the door and sits down on the head of this long wooden table. So, what have you found?
This rock.
and 2 dead giant bodies.
And a few other bits of information that has caused me to form a hypothesis.
Go on.
At the site, they're correct. We found 2 dead bodies. They appeared to be cloud giants, which should not have allowed them to fall. They generally have things to prevent that. We found some insects at the site that were feeding on them, but probably wasn't related. We did find a magical mark on one of the bodies that I haven't been able to identify. However, because also the trees and greenery in the area was dead, or decaying, which shouldn't have been possible due to the enchantment on the area, this leads me to believe that something took away these cloud giants' magic, or some kind of anti-magic weapon was used, which is what caused them to fall, which also caused the enchantment in the area to falter, which resulted in the decaying trees. So it looks like it was some kind of aerial battle that we found the aftermath of.
But they had a magic axe.
That was just part of their equipment. There's no indication of anything of that having to do with it.
Well, I
Just
mean, wouldn't
because-
the magic go away?
No, not necessarily. From dispelling a spell may only be temporary. It may not affect items. The item's enchantment may have simply resisted it. It's a possibility. I didn't say that it was a fully formed, confirmed idea. But it does fit most of the evidence we found. All in all,
Spooky.
though, aside from that, until I can identify the marking that we found on the body, it appears that the 2 giants died from the impact. And so all we know is 2 giants fell and hit the ground. And made quite a mess in the process.
You see him kind of taking all this in. He's still kind of shocked from some of the things that you've been mentioning here. And you're certain the forest was decaying?
That's definitely secure. Not only did we notice it while we were there, but also it was noticed by another traveler that we had passed by who noticed the enchantment had faded as well.
Your elven enchantments are just so weak. I could do it so much better.
Who was this traveler?
I still think you should give it a try.
Satyr that was traveling through the woods. We shared camp with him one evening.
And some super, super old elf.
Lunaris looks physically uncomfortable when he's brought up.
And you met this satyr before you found the giants?
No, it was on our way back. Also, we should note that it was also reported that there was a lost child that was found wandering and was handed over to the elves that may or may not be from the local area. So if there is a missing child that in report, that might explain things. Fortunately, the child was dissuaded before entering the what's it called? Dire Marsh?
Myerscar.
Marsh. Yeah.
Okay.
Aside from that, that's pretty much the report. We don't know a whole lot other than the fact somehow 2 cloud giants fell, and the enchantment on the location where they fell seemed to have died.
And we found this rock. You should really study it. It might be magical.
And he actually starts, writing some of this down and making his own notes here. Well, if everything you say is above board, this definitely is a concern for the wardens. We'll have to send more out to investigate.
Oh, on the topic of sending more people out to investigate, also we should report one of the bridges along the Plashun River has been taken down. And we did encounter a group of hobgoblins that
bared markings such as these, and she'll just present the serpent pin.
So
Victoria looks uncomfortable.
you toss the pin there, and he kind of slaps his hand down as it kind of scutters across the table. It's circular with it, and as he looks upon it, just kind of holds it in his hand for a moment, and he chucks the symbol on the table here, and he mutters, "Cloak serpent." They either they're worshiping or working with those that worship the evil reptile god.
Well, regardless, the people who were wearing these are all quite dead.
What were hobgoblins doing this far out away from the mountains?
I don't know. Seems like everybody's getting lost nowadays.
This is vexing indeed. All right. We'll send the word out to let the area know of the findings of the lost child. We'll send word about the bridge as well. And we'll put out some warnings about the hobgoblins, and do try to keep what you saw at the Mire Scar to yourselves. We don't want to cause any undue alarm. And when he says that, you hear screaming outside, like people just shouting. He immediately just kicks up out of the chair, and him and some of the other guards just run outside. And they're looking to see, what's going on, and people are looking up in the sky.
We should stay here, or else we're just going to get blamed for this too.
Go out. I'm going to follow them so I can see what the heck's going on.
Victoria's going to follow them so she has a witness to where she is.
As you all go outside,
Linares follows them, but he's going to play his viol like the world's ending.
Well, as you all go outside, you see what everybody else is seeing, and from the sky, from one of the clouds is descending, tilted. Upon the top of it, you can kind of see what looks to be some sort of castle or citadel. The whole structure in the cloud itself seems to be crumbling and falling out of the sky itself.
Well, that's not something you see every day. Can I roll Arcana to know what the hell's going on?
You most certainly can. Anybody else can as well.
I'm not smart enough to care.
Here, I'll pretend like I can roll Arcana.
Yep, that's Arcana, all right.
Here, Billidan will do just as good.
Obviously,
actually-
magic.
The Billidan did.
Bill didn't do too bad, no. So, all right. Well, Althea and Billidan can see this, and from what you see here, that looks to be a castle that, cloud giants would normally be at. Normally, you can't really see them from underneath. The clouds look like regular clouds, and you'd have to be pretty high up flying to even see one of these, let alone get close enough to survive getting to one of these. Not really heard of having one just fall out the sky like this one is doing.
Hey, wait, I want to take a moment. Can I figure out what sort of falling trajectory it's on? Like, is it heading towards us?
You most certainly can roll intelligence See if you can figure out where where it may make fall at. All right.
10.
Well, it's kind of hard to to judge it. It is coming, towards the Timber Bastille, but again, this is fairly large structure coming down. It's like a slow-moving comet, so you're not sure if it's going to hit, directly, or if it's going to be off, and you're just misjudging the distance. Definitely something to be alarmed of, though. If it is hitting the Timber Bastille, it would probably annihilate a good bit of the Bastille.
That's not good. That's a cloud giant castle.
They're invading.
That doesn't look like an invasion.
Oh well. I'm sure we can I'm sure we can boost their species through selective breeding.
You're a cold one, aren't you?
That sounds painful.
Well, I mean, it's what they do with endangered animals that they want to keep, them crazy druids, right?
That sounds really painful.
They're not animals. They're cloud giants.
Yeah, like I said, animals.
Pretty sure they'd crush me.
Not you.
Rixoria's got some weird fantasies.
We have a very odd person with us. Though
Rixoria
again,
turns and just looks at Billidan. Master,
That
she
shouldn't-
called you weird.
that shouldn't be able to happen.
What, selective breeding? No, it's
No.
easy.
The cloud giants falling to the earth like this.
Lars just shrugs. I mean, it's happening.
Okay, but why?
They forgot to pay the bill. I don't. What do you want from me?
Shoot him down with your arrow.
I think it's a bit far away, and I think that may be overkill.
Try to change its trajectory by hitting it with an arrow.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't die.
I believe in you, Bruce Willis. You can do this.
Oh my god.
We should see where it's going down at and go check it out.
We just got back from checking out something stupid.
This
I
could
think-
be important.
I think it's
So's
coming to us.
performing in the pub.
Okay, let me rephrase this. That is a castle that
Yeah.
usually is populated by cloud giants that is now
Gotcha.
crashing into the ground.
Yep.
Okay. Do you know what people keep in castles?
Treasure.
You got it in one.
Billidan would be all in favor of this because his entire ideals bonds is all money, obsessive over money.
Well, Lunaris' ideals, bonds, and everything is fame. I'm totally famous. Fame. And if I'm not famous, I should be.
Think how famous we'll be if we steal all their money.
It's not
Well,
stealing. It's recovering from a crashed house.
It belongs in a museum.
Well, if we're gonna do this, then we may as well get going now, because, I mean, a lot of people are gonna flock all over it.
Well, don't worry. They're coming to us.
What do you
think
mean
they're-
they're coming to us?
I think they're coming directly towards us. I don't know. I'm not good with these sorts of things. But based on the trajectory, maybe someone else better at judging this sort of thing can take a look.
Can I
Figure
make a roll for this?
Sure can. Intelligence check.
All right. Come on, dice roller. You've been treating me well today. Let's keep this streak alive. Nope. Apparently, distance is not my thing.
Well,
entirely sure.
Well, much to Linares' dismay, he's not sure the full trajectory on it, but he's fairly certain it's not going to hit the Timber Bastille, killing all the jerk guards that he hates.
Well, okay, so we're fine. Let's just wait for it to. We'll be fine. We'll just wait for it to crash and then go pick up the rubble, I guess.
I think we should rest the evening before heading out and gather the things we might need. We're going to be talking about the place that's not built for people of our size.
You
So
probably should be telling the guards this.
everybody roll a perception. Oh.
Linares got it.
Oh, yeah. So
That 20, man.
Ludaris, some of the things that you say, because the castle is, tilted on a, very sharp, 45-degree angle. Not only is there debris coming from the castle, just crumbling as it falls, but not all of it's debris that's falling. You can kind of clearly make out flailing arms of beings falling from the structure off the cloud, just plummeting.
Linares, what do your elf eyes see? Suffering. Cool. I watch as they hit the ground eventually.
What are you looking at?
Bodies.
Huh.
Never before have I met a person who can look on the death of another with such impassionate distance.
You kind of have to when everyone you know is going to die long before your own death.
From falling, apparently.
I plan on not dying anytime soon.
Well, I recommend don't falling out of a sky giant's castle then.
Well, you're an elf. You're an actual person that lives the correct amount of time, so you don't have to worry about that, do you?
We may have long lifespans, but we can die just as easily as any other mortal.
But not of old age.
We can die of old age. It just takes a really long time.
That's my point.
Just like the man that you saw. Man probably lived, he was either close to or beyond a millennia.
So how long does it take to hit the ground?
So the castle itself does take a few minutes for it to hit the ground, as it's moving on an angle, so it's not dropping, plummeting straight down. It's like a crashing airplane. It's still moving on its trajectory, but from where it's going, it's traveling due south. Well, more of southwest. So from what you can tell, it's probably landed somewhere by the glade pools.
I'm looking for the... Oh. That's a rather long trip.
And that requires going right through the Mire Scar. Well,
We
can go around the
the
Mire
Scar, yeah. Mire Scar is not that entire forest. It's just an area of the forest.
okay.
Just like,
Shall we?
Tormor Falls aren't the entire mountain range, it's just one little area of it.
Shall we start heading that way, since everyone is insistent upon going to the ruins?
We should rest, grab supplies that we'll need, and then head out at first light.
Seems a bit late.
Fine, let's just grab supplies and go now. We'll end up sleeping on the way.
Works for me.
So you don't want to sell the axe before you go?
Fuck, I forgot about that. I don't want to have to walk around with it again. I guess we have to find a seller for the axe, unless Unless anyone else thinks we should just go for the castle.
I think it would behoove us to get rid of the axe now. Take a few days. Well, take 5 work days to get our supplies ready, do whatever we need to, and then take our adventure out.
Besides, we have to ask permission to leave anyway.
Do we? I
No?
don't think we do.
I thought we worked for the city guard.
No,
No.
they would never hire me.
We're mercenaries.
Yeah, so they pretty much just forced you to go on that as kind of a penance for what you've did. That was part of your sentence.
Yeah, for ending a fight we didn't start.
Well, more for murdering 4 outsiders.
There weren't even people.
Well, in the eyes of the law, they were people. Lunaris'
Well,
law, they may not have been.
Well, you know what we have in common with the law? We end fights the same way they end personal freedom.
That's a bit, yeah.
Yeah, take that, Elvish Wardens.
Right. Well then, we'll head out in a week. Gather supplies so that you're ready. Close up any business you need, because from the looks of this, we're gonna be gone a while.
Lunaris goes to the pub.
How far would you say that traveling that far on the map? 3-4 days? Or
Well,
A week? 2?
Yeah, it'd be closer to a week to a 10-day, especially, skirting around the Myerscar, and with that bridge out, going across the river again.
well, we do need to leave the local area for a while.
Now, you say Lunaris is going to the tavern. Is he going to the tavern to entertain?
Yes, he is.
Most of the people need a distraction. So, let's
Perfect.
see. Would you like to put that into your downtime activity?
Yeah. He has to get his name out there. People need to remember him. He will be famous.
You are a big part of the reason why this tavern is as popular as it is.
Good.
I know somebody who's afraid of being forgotten.
I know somebody who wishes they could be forgotten, too.
Oh no, I don't want to be forgotten. Not until the streets run red with blood. Well, not the innocent blood. Why are you all looking at me like that?
Well, you should just check out the streets inside the palace. That'll run red enough for you.
Well, they're innocent people, and I don't want the streets to run red with the blood of the innocent.
I could almost feel everybody just look at Rixori when she says that.
I feel judged.
No, I'm just thinking that, well, I mean, there's plenty of not people you can make the streets run red with.
Yeah, anybody who's not an elf.
Exactly.
So she's got to kill herself then, because she's only...
Oh no, she has elf in her, so it's fine.
But she also has a not elf in her.
Yeah, but the elf is the better part. It kind of trumps over the taint.
So she's just muddy water.
Kind of
And
mudblood.
this is why Rick Shori hates all elves.
If I
But
hung out with
like
you-
I said, it's fine. Rixori's fine. She has elf in her.
Dave, can I roll a religion check to see what I remember about the cloak serpent?
Yeah.
And would this count for my background? Since it's a
No, because that wasn't directly involved with them. But I don't think he.
I think it covers all cults. If I could find the details on it. Oh no, if actively seeking signs of a cult or a dark following, I'm not seeking anything right now. Coding the signs or social interactions. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember stuff, so.
All right, so let's. Why don't you roll? See what you can recall from this.
Not a bad roll.
All right, so Cloak Serpent, obviously revered by many of the Serpent kin, but also by assassins, beings who wish to stay in the darkness, who call Shadow, the Veil of Shadow, their friend. Basically, a lot of sacrifices, most of them drugged screaming, to the various temples where their hearts are, removed and cut out, and given to the betrayer god. Let's see. Now, for the most part, the Spider Queen and the Crawling King kind of dominated the areas of Tal'Dorei in terms of evil cults are concerned. They were the big ones. But there were still straggler, little cells, so to speak. They haven't really been a resurgence of this. Most of them have kind of kept into hiding. And that's how they've endured, basically just staying in the shadows, playing their little pawn games, little shadow games using, poison, assassination, things of that nature to gain little bits of power here and there, just staying out of the limelight. So let this, the drow with the Spider Queen, let them be known. Let some of the undead worshipping fiends and things for the Crawling King, but they stayed in the shadows, biding their time. They're not something you want to really draw the ire of.
Well, I will have to keep that in mind next time I see this person. Let them know they're being hunted. Who I totally don't know who they are.
Totally.
No idea.
Especially
I hope we
since
meet
one of
Mr.
their,
Tumnus again.
especially since one of their, commandments is to kill slowly, agonizingly, and if you can, make them enjoy it.
Yeah. See, this is why you have to go with the one of just all unending darkness. So much easier. It cuts out all the screaming. Well, I mean, not all the screaming. You gotta have some, otherwise it's not really a sacrifice, is it? I mean, why are you all looking at me like that? Stop it. I just know these things as a priestess.
Sure.
I feel the judgment.
All right, so, yeah, it's a good thing you're looking out for that poor girl in the wanted poster.
Yep, we'll have to let her know she's in danger.
All right, so let's see. We have Lunaris going to perform. We have, I guess, where you're going to be doing the selling. Althea, what will you be doing for your downtime?
Since Billidan's not here, I'm going to have him do that because his rolls would be the same as mine.
For the sales? Okay.
Yeah.
Then what is Rixori going to do?
Let's go with Althea, and I need to quickly figure out what I'm doing.
Okay. Pit
Yeah,
fighting, pit
I'm
fighting.
not. I'm not totally sure yet. No, this one would suck at pit fighting. I can't remember what she'd actually be good at, so I'm having to go over that right now. I do know that. There were a few things that she was going to do, but unfortunately.
If you need some more time here, we can resolve Lunaris's performance.
Yeah, please go ahead, please.
I kind of get the feeling that you need just a little bit more time to think about this here. So, let's see. Was it actually perform on here? Work.
It should be work.
I actually posted what Lunaris is performing.
I never finished Night at the Woods.
It's so good, dude. It's so good. May has schizophrenia. They don't actually say that in the game, but the shit she goes through mirrors how I found out I had schizophrenia so closely that I had to stop playing it for a little while.
So, what is Lunaris's perform check?
I will get that. Kinda mediocre.
All right. All right, and let's roll that complication die here. Okay.
It was low enough that it got a complication.
There's
Nope.
always a chance for that. It's a 10%, but all right. So, yeah. So you managed to, as you perform, you earn enough to afford a modest lifestyle for the week.
Like it pays for itself.
Essentially, yeah. Now, if you do like really good on those, you get better lifestyles plus money on top of it.
I'm fine with this.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Is Rixori or Althea know what they're going to do yet?
Go ahead, Rixori, if you know. I'm still trying to find. The thing I want to do, I really can't because it'll cost too much. So I'm looking at. I may just do work.
Well, Rixori knows exactly what she's going to do. She's going to pay proper tribute to her god as a war cleric and do some pit fighting.
All right. All right. If you're ready to start rolling that, so you're gonna have to make 3 checks. I believe it was strength, dexterity, and what was the last one?
Athletics, acrobatics, and insight.
Insight. Yeah, the last one was weird. All right. So go ahead and I got to roll the DC. That's right. Let me. Ooh, can I get the modifier here? It's the first time I'm using the modifier on this. I know there's a way.
You can click on it and then type the number. Or
well,
since it's
how to roll the multiple.
You right click on the die.
I got it. All right, and I should be able to just drag this in the chat. So there's your DC.
Ooh, she's got a pretty challenging fighter.
Yeah.
Well, I believe in you, Dice.
It's a 7-year-old elven girl.
Ah, jeez. One short.
There you go.
Acrobatics with that -1. Oh, and it's insight. I believe in you, dice.
There you go.
Wow, that's
2
actually
is
2 successes.
100 gold. Congratulations.
Yay! And all that,
Damn.
and all
If it
that
wasn't
plus
for
some
that
others.
that one athletics. But yeah, that was really good.
She went down in the last round. She didn't pray hard enough.
Let's see. Ooh, let me I want to roll this here. That's the wrong die. Let me roll this here.
Terrible complications now.
Can only hope. Oh, okay. So
I was joking, Dave. I was joking.
well, during your bouts there, seems some shenanigans have been going on there because, well, much like some of the real life, like boxing events and such, there is some foul play being accused here. In fact, you're being accused of cheating.
It's because I'm a half-elf, isn't it? I knew it. Ooh, the half-elf always cheats. Invoking divine powers is illegal.
Yeah, nice. All right.
Hi, guards. It's been like 30 minutes.
No, you're not arrested for it. They didn't confiscate your winnings, but your reputation in the fighting arena does kind of get a little tarnished with that. So, but outside of that, you're not being arrested or losing any winnings, anything like that. So you still have your 100 gold. You still won the fight, but people are saying that you're, a dirty cheat and wonderful other colorful things are being thrown at your way. Nothing you haven't heard before, especially going to Singorn or traveling with Billidan, because he gets his fair share of dirty slang thrown his way as well.
Someone started this, and they're going to pay.
Speaking
They have
of
defiled.
Billidan, I believe we need to make was it charisma?
Persuasion, I believe. Yes, persuasion. Well, good news is he actually has that as our leader. Not very well, but he does have that.
All right. Let's see here. All right, so that's the base price. All right, so it looks like you can get a buyer for about 200 gold for that. And let's see. Ooh, I like this one too. All right. Let's see what he's won, Johnny. Oh.
Dave, are the dice trying to kill me?
Yes. Oh.
Well, goodbye, Billidan. I'm sorry.
So, there is a complication. And the night before the deal is going to go through, the axe is stolen.
Where's Grendelfurt? We need Grendelfurt.
I don't know. Lunaris, if he cared, would definitely hunt some bitches down.
I don't know. Lunaris is performing. You'd have to go get him.
At
How
some
did
point,
someone steal a giant ass axe? Like,
Master Billidan is angry. Someone stole his money. And by money, I mean the giant axe.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
A 2 was rolled on the.
That's bullshit. Man,
Well, the funny thing is that now turns it. It's not lost. It now becomes a side adventure.
Somebody
So-
has it. And somebody's going to die.
What Althea has done, because I have no way to make money and I can't do any of the downtime activities with any amount of skill. What she is going to do? No, I looked. I'm going to go an alternate route, and she's going to spend 2 days or four of the days crafting scrolls,
Okay.
which then hopefully she can sell.
the only reason I agreed to pitch in for that fucking pearl was because we were getting money from the axe.
So, you wouldn't be able to sell them in the same week, but you can definitely scribe them and have them on hand to sell another week,
Yeah, I mean,
or to
I
use
figured
later.
that.
Depending on the spells that you try. To
Yeah. I mean, I figured it would. I mean, but it's the only thing I can think of that could potentially generate income with my skills. It surprised me. I thought the downtime was a little more open than that. They are not.
All right. Let me see if anything interesting happens here. Interesting. That actually kind of works too. While you're trying to scribe these scrolls, you're getting all the components and just trying to keep to yourself for the most part. While you were working during the nights and all that, you had a attempted break-in. Now, whoever it was did not succeed in breaking in and stealing your scrolls, but an attempt was made.
Someone's trying to steal all our shit.
You sure it's not Rick's Rory just trying to triple cross everybody?
Lunaris is fine.
So, and you don't know about the other theft until after the week goes by. So that's where you kind of find out, like, oh, somebody tried to break into my where I was working on the scrolls, and somebody stole our axe.
Somebody's going to die. Billidan's going to kill somebody. Raise them and kill them again.
Meanwhile, Lunaris is performing for the masses. So the week goes by, and Rixori is accused of being a dirty half-elf cheat. Your axe has been stolen. Althea had an unwanted guest try to break into her room, and Lunaris had fairly successful playing. Not as best as he could, though. Mainly probably because not enough, dirty animals didn't get killed. Especially those guards that you hate.
Well, the guards are not animals. They're elves. They live the appropriate amount of time.
Yeah, but they're
still
jerks.
assholes.
Exactly.
They're still assholes.
There's the dirty animals, there's the guards, and then there's the nice elfin folk.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. Not enough of the animals were killed, and then there's also the guards that also didn't get killed. So,
right.
Way up here is Lunaris.
No,
He is at the peak of the mountain.
Well, all
This
elves
is
are at the
true.
peak of the mountain.
But Lunaris is then in the clouds, far above everyone else.
Lunaris is definitely better than everyone else. I mean, it's obvious. Don't you see it? It's obvious.
I mean, just listen to him play.
He is a masterful player. He did outplay the satyr. And all they do is drink and
That-
play musical instruments.
Yeah, that was actually a feat that I was surprised I was able to pull off.
Yeah, I won't be able to sell the scrolls anyway. Unfortunate. Oh well.
But you can still make scrolls of various spells, though, that are still useful.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just you can do it with higher level ones, but because in order to sell it, you have to spend a week and 100 gold, and then it'd be like, well, I can only make 50 on it. So
Fair enough. And the ones that really would give you a good return as well take a few work weeks.
yeah, like in a week, I couldn't make anything worth selling, but I can make 2 scrolls of mage armor, which frees up spell slots for combat.
All right. I'll let you guys adjust some of those costs here in your sheets. Now,
Rick is going to buy some armor before we leave.
all right. Let's see.
So I was actually, I won't be able to. I will need armor, but I have to wait till I level up.
Which you guys are pretty close to doing.
Yeah, I'd pick it up before we leave.
Yeah, I would recommend that as well. That way you can put it on while you're on the road.
Okay, I will do that.
That way, because you're still learning how to fight with that. Because you want to be able to have that extra protection. You just haven't mastered that yet. So you're kind of prepping like you think you almost got it. So you're kind of shopping for your
kind of like I did
ideal.
with the whip.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah, she will pick up because I still have an entire day because describing those 2 scrolls. Since I can't sell them, is it okay if I just scribe 1 instead? That way, I just have the money for the armor.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'll scribe only 1 instead of 2. Because I could always ritual cast the damn thing at the beginning of the day, which I don't know why I haven't been doing that. So 5. So that's enough for me to buy my armor. That'll work. I know there's a way to do this. Items, yes. Armor, yes. And yes. So I should just be able to drag and drop this in, I think. Yes. And that will cost me. Let's see. 3 of those. And 15 of that. So I spent 45 gold to purchase a set of studded leather.
Okay. And remember, just you can just drag the item onto the sheet in your inventory.
Yep, done and done. I've already got the whip, got everything else, and I've still got 9 days of rations. Actually, yeah, because we ate that one night, so I still have 9 days of rations.
And if Bilden does his job, you can get some more game and things on the way as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have over a week's worth of rations. If we have to deviate before then, I mean, that's fine. We should be okay.
Yeah, same.
And I mean, in my gear set, I have a scroll of mage armor that I can use in an emergency. I've got what I wanted to do originally was I was going to spend the week researching that downed castle, but that costs like 100 gold to do. So, no, maybe next time.
Well, you guys are going to be going out to trek out to find the fallen castle, so...
Yeah, but having info on it would have been nice, but like I said, it costs like 100 gold, which I didn't have. And on top of that, we lost the axe, which that is something Althea will alert the others to. Also, just to let you know, someone tried to break into me workroom while I was scribing this. It looks like the town's got a problem with some thieves.
Town's got a lot of problems. Thinking I'd cheat.
Do we want to forego heading out and seeing if we can't hunt these ne'er-do-wells down?
I personally think we ought to get out of town pretty fast.
Why do you say that?
No reason. I mean, that castle's been crashed for a while. We should go check it out.
I mean, I agree, but is there something you're not telling us?
I'm telling you everything I know.
So there's something you're not telling us. Fine, fair enough. Let's go.
So we're just gonna let that axe go.
Well, hopefully we'll get something better at the castle.
All right, 'tis up to you.
Well, which is more important, the castle or an axe?
Don't worry.
I
The axe-
figured hunting the axe down would take a lot less time.
Oh, Dave, did he lose the gold for trying to sell the axe?
He did.
Don't worry, giant axe will reappear at some point. It's not exactly something that is easy to conceal.
Well, before we leave town, perhaps we should at least report the theft to the authorities.
Oh, sure, like they're gonna listen to me. Okay, I'll go report it.
Why don't I report it?
No, I won't report it.
Okay. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. If you guess the number, then you can go report it. Go.
19.
Nope, wasn't the number. I'm going to report it. Bye, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Dang it!
Clever girl.
So she
It
goes
always
off to
gets me with that
report it.
game.
All right, so you take the proper steps to report that, and you also tell them about your attempted theft.
Yes.
Okay, so they get
It's
all
like-
the information. They ask you, describe, the items, and
It's an axe that is as large as you are. It's going to be easy to spot.
It actually would be bigger than they are. It's
It's
a great
a
axe made for a creature that's about 15 foot high.
It's a 12-foot long great axe. If you can't find it, you need glasses.
Well, they're also inquiring about your attempted theft into your workshop for when you were scribing scrolls.
But they didn't actually get anything, so it's a little less important.
All right. Well,
Maybe-
they take the report and they have the the notice on there for the guards if they find the axe with that to notify you so that they can return that to the rightful owner. And they also have the report of the attempted theft on the scroll. So if there's any other attempted thefts for spell components, scrolls, things like that. Whoever's doing that, they might be able to link them to your attempt, or if it's isolated, whatnot.
I bet you it was Tian. He was trying to break in and see you. You did invite him. He's trying to crawl into your bed and steal your scrolls for some reason.
He was looking for that wanted poster of Victoria. He really wanted it.
That wanted poster that has strangely disappeared. Don't know what you're talking about. There's never a wanted poster.
Well, I was looking forward to making him a bad boy, but, not something that's gonna happen yet.
Rick's already ready to rock for that pun.
She reflexively ducks.
I'll get you next time in your badness.
Well, I mean, what's the matter? I mean, look, goats are known for stamina.
Never mind. Just stop, okay? Too many details.
They're known for their stamina. They're great at climbing on things.
La la la.
You ever heard of a mountain goat?
I'm gonna learn silence. I need to learn how to cast
Also,
that
he had
spell.
nice rounded horns. I'm pretty sure those make a good handle.
I would have done Mr. Tumnus.
Rick's already runs out of town.
For someone like her, who is so jaded, yet she's so innocent, it's a little cute.
I don't know. I kind of feel bad for her.
Let the lass keep what she's got.
That's not whatever.
So, since you've been back, of course, one other thing that has definitely happened, Althea, is a certain bard, sort of your arrival back, since he's been out of the stockade. And he has again been trying to woo you with his poems, his songs.
Oh no, she agrees. I only had to work 2 days out of that week. He's getting the other 3. He deserved it.
So,
For getting us into this mess? Fuck that guy.
He tried to defend my honor, so I am gonna fuck that guy.
Oh my god.
so Carol,
He deserves it.
after all his attempts to woo, and wasn't getting anywhere, he does it again, and he's like expecting a similar result, and then all of a sudden she's like, sure. It's like, wait, oh, okay, I understand. Wait, what? So,
Yep, she's like, come up to me room in like an hour, I'll get ready, it'll be nice. Bring flowers and chocolates.
and he's got that momentary shock, like, oh my god, this is happening. This oh my god, flowers, chocolate. He's actually saying this to himself. Flowers, chocolate. Yes, he just like runs out to go get these items as quickly as possible. He's holding on to his little hat, the feather barely staying in the cap the whole time as he's running out the door.
Yep, that's fine. She's gonna go up and get ready. She's going the full 9 yards. He deserves it. He tried to defend her honor. Almost got killed to defend her honor. Her own fucking teammates won't do that. They might get killed to protect her body, but her honor they could give 2 shits about.
Hey, Althea, I want to talk to you about... Oh.
Can't talk about to have sex. 3 days of elvish monkey sex.
I'm just going to put my glaive through the doorway and bar the door, and I'm just going to go see how hard people can hit me in the face till I forget about this. See ya!
Have fun! I know I will.
And now we know why she lost the last round.
Yeah, little distracted on that. Oh, jeez. Okay, so we got the downtime squared away here with the new downtime rules. So Yeah.
I think I should get the relaxation bonus for that.
Let's see.
No,
What
it doesn't
was
apply, so it
that?
doesn't matter. But I would just like to quote that I have comment of the week officially. I worked in the phrase elvish monkey sex.
Yep, and it is forever logged, and I'll probably make that a quote for the quote pot.
Well, I mean, he is like half elf, so half monkey sex, I guess.
3/4.
Yeah. Well, like that's what elves call it when like they mate with a human, monkey sex, because they're monkeys. I'm going directly to hell when I die.
Yes, you are.
One-way trip. Express elevator.
Don't worry, I'll help send you there.
Would rather
You know what?
not.
Just because of her backstory, and this is... Don't know if this was the first, but definitely from what he had said there, that she's been pretty much locked in the Arcanum, just studying for years and years and years. I will give her that relaxation bonus.
I mean, it doesn't apply. I don't have any ability damage to heal, so...
So,
that's why I said it, because it literally doesn't matter. But I mean, I figured that Althea, she's a little bit free with it. She's very innocent, but she enjoys it. She doesn't have the low charisma, and we've established apparently that she's a little bit, that's going to be her thing. It's going to just turn Rixori odd colors of red. It's going to be great.
I need an adult.
No, you don't. You're not in the room for any of this. There's
Let's
a
go
sock
find
on
the. Well, let's go find the demon sultan, and you can have your adult.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the satyr
Wait, no. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that satyr was an adult.
yes,
Mr. Tumnus is a pure and chaste gentleman.
Where's Master? I need Master. Oh.
He was also one hell of a musician, too. But Lunaris was a better one.
What was his bonus? I'm curious.
I believe it was +6.
Oh, geez. That's way higher than mine.
Yeah, and you
Not
beat
way
him.
higher, but definitely higher. Yeah. I guess
check
I just got lucky.
Yeah,
Man, Fantasy
+6.
Grounds is driving me nuts. Every time I hold down Control and click inside the Fantasy Grounds while I'm holding Control, it keeps my mic on. That's why you heard the chewing in the bag earlier, because I didn't know
who
my
was doing
push
it.
to talk was stupid.
Yeah, Fantasy Grounds has I've noticed some weird interactions with keyboard shortcuts.
So I keep push to talk on so you don't hear my chair squeak or me eating. But Fantasy Grounds has other ideas.
Are we wrapping, Dave?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. So you guys are definitely going
I
out
hope
to
the
the
half elf does. She's gonna ensure he does. She does not need a kid.
Yeah,
That
no,
is not in her. That is not in the cards.
I'm sure there's a cantrip for that.
If there isn't, there was an item in Pathfinder called Night Tea. So,
As your cleric, I don't want to know what you're doing. I'll just cure it and you're good.
But she's got to go to you for confession.
Oh.
no,
You got to
but
hear everything.
No, but she's wishing she had prestidigitation, because that could make things interesting.
What? Let's see.
I cast Spare the Dying on myself.
Okay. So, with that, yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. So we'll kick off same time next week, 1 p.m. Central Time, to continue the adventures in Tal'Dorei. as you go to explore the fallen giant castle that landed somewhere near the glade pools in the verdant expanse.
I should draw some fan art.
No.
You should. It'd be just like all black bars with everything. It'd be just like a foot and a hand showing. But yeah, should totally do that.
Okay, so did we? Where are we? So how do we? I know there's a way for me to do this. Hold on. Just
It was fun.
Yeah, thanks.
We are so
everybody
close
for,
to leveling.
watching.
So close.